All right, so 12.7 goes over adding and subtracting radicals. When you add and subtract radicals, you need to make sure that you simplify those radicals first, and then you're combining like terms, sort of say. So when you add or when you subtract those radicals, your radical is going to be like your variable. It's not going to change. As long as it's the same, you're going to combine the term that's in front of the radical. If we look at example 1, we have to add 4 square root 7 plus 5 square root 7. You have that square root 7 for both of these terms, so combine the terms that are attached to those radicals, the ones in front. So we're really doing 4 plus 5 and keeping the square root of 7. The 4 plus 5 gives us 9. Keep the square root of 7. 9 square root 7 is your answer. For example 2a, we have 8 square root 6 minus 3 square root 6. Square root of 6 is in simplest form. We cannot simplify it any further, so we're just going to combine what's in front. So we're going to do 8 minus 3. Keep the square root of 6. That gives us 5 square root 6. Example B, we have 13 square root 2 plus 7 square root 2. Once again, those radicals are in simplest form. So we're going to keep the radical, combine what's in front. So we're going to do 13 plus 7 times the square root of 2. The 13 plus 7 gives us 20 square root 2. For example C, we have 12 square root 5 minus 9 square root 5. Again, keep the square root of 5. Do the 12 minus 9. That gives us 3 square root 5. For example D, we have 9 square root 3 plus 8 square root 27. That 8 square root 27 you want to simplify first. 27 is 3 times 9. The 9 is 3 times 3. Two of those 3's are going to pair up, and this is going to become 9 square root 3 plus 8 times 3 square root 3. 8 times 3 square root 3 gives us 9 square root 3 plus 24 square root 3. We're going to combine the 9 and the 24 to give us 33 square root 3. For our next section, we still are just simplifying, except now we have more than 2 terms. Again, remember, simplify those radicals as much as you possibly can, and then combine what's in front of those radicals as long as the radical is the same. For example 3, we have 3 square root 6 minus 2 square root 13 plus 5 square root 6. Your so-called like terms here are the only radicals that are the square root of 6. So that's the 3 square root 6 and the 5 square root 6. Combine those. That 5 square root 6 has a positive in front of it, so we're going to add 3 and 5 to give us 8 square root 6. That negative 2 square root 13 doesn't combine with another square root 13 somewhere, so we're just going to leave it. And you're going to have 8 square root 6 minus 2 square root 13. For example, 4a, we have 8 square root 2 plus 3 square root 5 minus 6 square root 2. Your so-called like terms here are the 8 square root 2 and the negative 6 square root 2. 8 minus 6 gives us 2. Keep the square root of 2 plus 3 square root 5. For example B, we have 6 square root 5 minus 2 square root of 11 plus 5 square root 5. Your 6 square root 5 and your 5 square root 5 you will combine with one another. This gives us 11 square root 5 minus 2 square root 11. For example C, we have 13 square root 12 minus 4 square root 3 plus 6 square root 18. You need to simplify that 13 square root 12. 12 is 3 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. So those 2's pair up. We're going to do 13 times 2, which is 26. Keep the square root of 3. That negative 4 square root 3, you cannot simplify the square root of 3 any further, so leave it. That 6 square root 18, 18 is 9 times 2. 9 is 3 times 3. Those 3's pair up. So 6 times 3 is 18. Keep the square root of 2. Your so-called like terms here are the 26 square root 3 and the negative 4 square root 3. 26 minus 4 is 22. Keep the square root of 3 plus 18 square root 2. For example D, we have 5 square root 7 minus 8 square root 14 minus 9 square root 7. Your terms that you're combining are the 5 square root 7 and the negative 9 square root 7. So this gives us negative 4 square root 7 minus 8 square root 14. For example 5, we are given 7 square root 3 minus 4 square root 6 plus 2 square root 48 minus 6 square root 54. For this one, we are going to simplify the square root of 48 and the square root of 54 first. That 48 is 4 times 12. 12 is 4 times 3. Your two 4's pair up, so this is going to become 8 square root 3 because we multiply the 4 times the 2. From here, you're going to simplify that square root of 54. That 54 is 9 times 6. The 9 is 3 times 3. So we're going to multiply the 3 times the negative 6 to give us negative 18. We keep the square root of 6 because 6 is just 2 times 3 and it doesn't combine, like the 2 doesn't combine with another 2, the 3 doesn't combine with another 3. From here, your only like terms are the negative 4 square root 6 and the negative 18 square root 6. So this is going to become, no, sorry, I don't know why I wrote down 7 square root 5. This should be 7 square root 3. So then you'll have like terms with the 7 square root 3 and the 8 square root 3 also. So 7 square root 3 plus 8 square root 3 is 15 square root 3. The negative 4 square root 6 minus 18 square root 6 is negative 22 square root 6. So we just have 15 square root 3 minus 22 square root 6. For example 6a, we have the square root of 13 plus the square root of 52 minus 3 square root 5. That square root of 52 we can simplify. We can divide it by 4. We get 4 times 13. The 4 is 2 times 2. Those two 2's pair up. So this is the square root of 13 plus 2 square root 13 minus 3 square root 5. The square root 13 plus 2 square root 13 we will combine. 1 plus 2 gives us 3 square root 13 minus 3 square root 5. For our last example, B, we have the square root of 48 plus 7 square root 3 plus the square root of 27. That 48 we did earlier, and we said that it was 4 times 12, and 12 is 4 times 3. So this simplifies to be 4 square root 3. That square root of 27 is 9 times 3. The 9 is 3 times 3. So that becomes 3 square root 3. These are all like terms. So we're going to do the 4 plus 7 plus 3, which gives us 14. We keep the square root of 3 with it. So we just have 14 square root 3.